Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today is the day that we finally have these Amber Collection figures to take a look at. I waited a very long time to get mine, as many people had theirs from Entertainment Earth shipped pretty early on to them. I had stupidly ordered mine from Big Bad Toy Store, which took for some reason ages to ship, and I actually ended up giving up on the Big Bad Toy Store version because they just were still not shipping it way after everyone else has had shipped, and I ordered it from Amazon instead, who claimed they would ship it right away. That was also a lie. Amazon took probably a couple of weeks before they finally shipped theirs as well. But finally, after quite the battle to get a hold of it, we now have the Dilophosaurus and Dennis Nedry Amber Collection figures here to take a look at with you guys. And both look absolutely beautiful, just like I expected them to. As far as the packaging goes, it's pretty much your standard Amber Collection packaging. And then on the back here we have, of course, Dilophosaurus and a really nice image of the Dilophosaurus right there. And then on the back of Dennis Nedry as well, pretty much the same thing, Amber Collection, Dennis Nedry, all that fun stuff. So again, something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. I'm really excited to take a look at it with you guys. So let's go ahead and break both of these out of their packages right now. So like magic, everything is already out of the packaging, and there is a lot included here to take a look at. And I definitely want to say how beautiful that Dilophosaurus looks already out of the packaging. Very impressed already with this, and it's the first time we've had a dinosaur in the line that was not a velociraptor as far as these Amber Collection figures go. So that's extremely exciting news in general, having a new species finally introduced to the line, and that Dennis Nedry over there looks amazing as well. And how much do you just absolutely love that East Dock sign right there? That is just incredibly cool as far as that little addition goes. Mattel really goes the extra mile as far as these Amber Collection releases, and you can see that right here with everything that you have included in just the overall beauty of this entire set, with both figures included here in one shot. And we're just going to go ahead and get a closer look at these right now. Of course, the first thing we're going to look at would be the Dilophosaurus, because why wouldn't we? Looking at the head sculpt of the Dilophosaurus, as far as a Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus goes, that is picture perfect. And I just killed Dennis Nedry down there with the Dilophosaurus's tail, but that is picture perfect as far as accuracy goes. That looks exactly like the Dilophosaurus does in the film, and I think they've done a tremendous job of really capturing the overall look of the Dilophosaurus, again, perfectly. Really nice sculpt and detail up here on the head sculpt of the Dilophosaurus. You can see that the skin texture looks great. Really beautifully sculpted nostril right there. The overall scaling and everything as far as the dinosaur goes also looks really good. Beautiful detailing there in the eye socket, if my camera would focus on it. And I love that they've actually given it kind of like that reddish coloration there in the eye socket, which is something that is quite reminiscent to the Dilophosaurus in the film. And I love also that black coloration that runs up onto the face, and they've done a great job on that paintwork as well, really nicely outlining that area. Just like it appears in the film, the eye is painted beautifully with a yellow and a black pupil, and the eye appears to be very nicely placed on both sides. Yes, it is. As far as the inside of the mouth goes, you can see like a nice kind of a pinkish type of a reddish coloration there. Beautifully glossed. Look at that. I love how they kind of include that little bit of like a reddish coloration on the inside of the mouths of the Amber Collection figures, giving it that somewhat bloody appearance to it in the tongue region. If my camera would just focus. It does not like focusing on this Dilophosaurus for some reason. But you can see that that looks extremely nice. You can also see that spot in the back of the throat there for the venom to be inserted into. Beautiful detailing all over the inside of the mouth of the Dilophosaurus. The teeth are also quite nicely done as far as the paintwork goes. You can see that they do look really nice. There's no real sloppiness or anything to the teeth at all that I can see. And the entire inside of the mouth has an absolutely fantastic gloss coat like we are used to having included with our Mattel figures. So as far as the head sculpt of the Dilophosaurus goes, it is off the charts beautiful. Up here on the top of the head, you can also see some really nice detailing. Once we actually look at the frill is gorgeous as well. Beautiful sculpt and detail within the frill all over the place, and the paintwork is absolutely awesome, just like the rest of the dinosaur is. Nice reddish colorations in there, beautiful yellow for the primary color of the frill, and I think the entire thing just looks very natural, very nicely painted, and overall looks very much so reminiscent to the way it looked in the film. Look at that shot right there. That is beautiful, looking at the Dilophosaurus there facing you, kind of in a very angry fashion with its mouth open. Of course, the jaw is articulated, and you can see that quite nicely, but the mouth doesn't shut as smoothly as the Velociraptors did, I will say that. And I've actually heard quite a bit of people having issues, like quality control issues with kind of the joint in the mouth there not working too well. So far, mine seems like it's working really well, but I don't know for sure if it will hold up. As of right now, we'll just have to wait and see. As we move down the neck, actually, let's take the frill off, because I do believe the frill comes off. And in something that is quite terrifying, to get the frill off, you actually have to take the head off, so that's really, really scary. We're going to put the other part here on here in a second, but I just wanted to get a look at what the actual skin texture looks like in the neck region without that there. And you can see it looks really, really nice. The skin texture, as far as like cracks and crevices and just the overall appearance to it, looks gorgeous in every possible way in the neck region, and that paintwork is really smooth. I love how it has that darker green that transitions to the lighter green here on the underside, and that is such a smooth transition right there. Beautiful look. But let's go ahead and get the head back on with this kind of a area of the frill being at ease, and we'll put that on as well. So now we've got it with the frill off, and now this kind of wrinkled up frill down in a more comfortable position for our Dilophosaurus. And I think it looks pretty cool, but I definitely think I like it better with the actual frill on. But I still really do like that they include this. I think it was a very nice addition to the figure to have the option of posing it with the frill up or the frill down. Definitely really, really nicely done on the part of Mattel to include something that's really cool like that. And once we start to move down into the body, you can see that the skin texture of the body itself also looks really gorgeous, just like it did up there on the neck region. Beautiful skin texture all throughout the stomach. You can get an idea of the rib cage there on the dinosaur. Beautiful skin texture here as we move down into the arms. Some very nice muscle tone there. The arms look great as far as the sculpt work goes, as do the hands. The hands have a very nice dry brushing that they've applied, as well as like kind of a lighter area right here, but then it darkens with that dry brushing, as does the opposing hand. Again, you're not going to see really any difference on the figure as far as the sculpt goes, because it pretty much comes here in a neutral position, and then you just have to kind of position it how you'd like. So we're not really going to see much difference on either side. But I think both the arms and hands and everything all look great. Very nice articulation in there, which is a bit stiff at this point. I have to move that around a little bit. But once we come back here into the body, again, the underside of the dinosaur looks pretty good as far as the sculpt work goes. As we move up here into the upper part of the body, you can see the spinal column of the Dilophosaurus, as well as, again, some more really beautiful skin texture the entire way back. Moving down here into the thigh, you can see some beautiful muscle tone, as well as some more really nice paint work. I absolutely love the way they've applied this black paint with that kind of white outline, just like we see in Jurassic Park. Very nice leg sculpt as we move down, maybe a little lacking in the calf muscles, but not too bad. The foot sculpt looks very similar to the way it's painted as far as the hand sculpt, with that lighter kind of green, and then that kind of a dry brushing, and it's not so much a dry brushing, it's just kind of some paint down here. It looks more like a dry brushing up there on the hand, as opposed to what it looks like down here. Just kind of looks like maybe there's some mud on the feet a little bit, but at the same time, they do look pretty nice. You have a really nice Jurassic Park logo right there. And then moving out into the tail, again, some more really beautiful skin texture, beautiful paintwork. Love that the black runs out onto the tail. I think it would have looked better actually if it had even gone further, but it still looks good as far as where it goes to. And then a nice tip to the tail, and beautiful skin texture, beautiful paintwork. Everything on this is just absolutely awesome as far as the Dilophosaurus goes. And then as far as the extras of the Dilophosaurus, we also have the East Dock sign, which is really cool, very nice looking, very high quality appearance to it. You can even spin the arrow just like in the film. And then you have a little muddy area down here, because of course this scene is taking place in the middle of a storm where the rain is just kind of muddying up everything. So this is very nicely done. Very nice addition is having that muddy area to put the sign in. And then of course the amber style base, which you get with all of your amber collection figures. Looks pretty much just like they usually do, but very nicely done. And if we didn't show the back of the frill, I don't recall if we did or not, but the back of the frill also sports some really nice detailing, and you can kind of see like a speckling of like a little bit of a few yellow spots, I guess you could say, back here, almost like a light green or a yellow as far as some spots, just for a little bit of color variation on the frill on top of the really nice coloration here on the front. As far as Dennis Nedry goes, I feel like the likeness to being a Dennis Nedry figure is really nicely done. Overall, it definitely has a very similar appearance to him. You have his glasses up here on his face, which I'm going to try to get into position a little bit better there. There, that looks pretty good. They even almost look kind of foggy, since that was occurring at this point in time. And again, the head sculpt looks very beautiful. Nice paint application, beautifully sculpted out hair on Nedry right there. As we move down into the body, you can see that really cool name tag. And for being so small, that is insanely well done as far as that goes. You can even see the Jurassic Park logo and everything right there. And even his picture, which is exceptionally well done. That little tag there is very impressive. Once you move down into his shirt, you can actually see a few different variations of blue included, like a lighter and a little bit of a darker blue, just to give you some realistic appearance as far as the color to the shirt itself. And again, very nicely sculpted. The jacket also looks really good, nice and shiny like it should be. Very nice sculpting as far as that goes. And again, having that wet look like it should. It also would be generally shiny in the first place because that's just the way those coats are. But with the rain on it, it would look very wet, and that looks perfect as far as that goes. Jurassic Park logo right there on the chest. And then moving down into the pants. Again, there's a little bit of color variation in the pants as well. Lots of wrinkles in the pants, looking very realistic. And I love that once you get down here, they've added in some mud that you can see on the pants. And then moving down into his boots there, you can also see, or shoes I should say, you can also see the mud is present on those as well. So that really cool little addition, the small things like that is the type of stuff that I absolutely love. Little things they sneak in that are just so cool and really playing off of the scene that it's portraying. And then the back of Nedry also looks really nicely done. So the figure itself is fantastic. And then, of course, you can actually switch out the head so that you can have Nedry now missing his glasses with the venom on his face after he gets sprayed. So as far as display options go, you can pretty much create any part of the scene that you would like. And I love that they include that. You also have the Barbasol can, and you have the inside as well where the DNA was hidden, and it looks extremely, extremely cool. You can see how well done for being so small, how well done that is. That is extremely impressive, and you can actually put this inside the Barbasol can itself just to, again, copy exactly what it does in the film. And look at this. You even have the words on the back of the Barbasol can. Like, Mattel has just gone just over the top as far as how good this entire set truly is. It's insane as far as this set goes. And then you have alternate hands as far as what's included with Nedry. And then his base, of course, itself, another very nice amber style base. And then we also have the venom that is associated with our Dilophosaurus, which sports a beautiful look as far as very nice and translucent with a nice greenish coloration and very glossy like it probably should look. So let's go ahead and check out the articulation of these figures right now. As far as the articulation of the Dilophosaurus, you do have the articulated jaw, which we've already mentioned. You can move the head up and down right there, and even left or right, as well as a spot right here at the base of the neck for articulation, which can pretty much go in every direction. You also have articulation in the shoulder, in the elbow, and the wrist. So 3 spots of articulation right there in the arm. You also have the articulation of the hip, which is a little stiff right now, but seems to move pretty well. The knee, and then also 2 spots down here as far as like the ankle articulation and stuff goes. You can swivel right here as well. And of course, this is the same articulation on both sides of the dinosaur. And then you have the articulation of the tail right there. And then the wire tail of the Dilophosaurus to kind of position the tail in any position that you would like. So as far as articulation goes, the dinosaurs are off the charts. There's so much articulation in pretty much any possible position that you would like to pose your dinosaur in, and whatever scene you would like to create is easily within your grasp as far as the ridiculous amount of articulation included. And then we have Dennis Nedry, who has pretty much the standard human articulation. You can move the head, of course. You can also move the head to the left or right, which is pretty stiff at this point in time. Again, I'll have to loosen those up. You have articulation in the shoulder, and then the elbow as well, and the wrist. Of course, you can exchange the hands for the other hands. You can even open his coat a little bit to take a better look in there. You can see you have articulation right here in the chest, and then articulation in the hip region, right here in the legs, and then again in the knees, and right here in the ankles, swiveled again. So lots and lots of articulation on both Dennis Nedry and the Dilophosaurus. And one thing that I think is always really cool about the Amber Collection figures is on top of having the bases to display them on, you actually don't need the bases because you can see both of these can stand perfectly on their own with no help whatsoever. So another really awesome aspect of the Amber Collection figures is having the base if you want to display it on, just to have that very nice Amber Collection appearance, but you can also display them without it, and they again stand picture perfect. As far as a size goes, for Dennis Nedry, you're not going to get much for like a width or anything, so we'll just go with a height. You are looking at, of course, the 6-inch range, maybe a little bit bigger. We're about 15, maybe 15.5 centimeters. And then for our Dilophosaurus, for a length, you are looking at about 10.5 inches or about 27 centimeters, maybe a little bit under. And then for a height, and of course this would depend on how you want to position it, a little bit under 4 inches or a little under 10 centimeters, but you can stand it up taller if you would like. That's really your call. As far as a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack, Dilophosaurus, and Robert Muldoon next to our Amber Collection figures right here. And you can see next to these guys that these figures do sport some pretty good size, especially being a Dilophosaurus. The Amber Collection figure is definitely one of the biggest Mattel has released, aside from the very large basic version. I would say that it's probably the biggest. And of course, Dennis Nedry is clearly the biggest figure that we have of him, even though we only have 2 different versions at this point in time. But the Amber Collection figures are usually the biggest versions of each of the humans from the Mattel line, aside from Owen, who also had a large basic figure. But hopefully next to these figures, if you don't have any of the prior Amber Collection figures, you'll have a pretty good idea of how well they size up. So these 2 newest Amber Collection figures are awesome, absolutely awesome. And again, the Amber Collection line from Mattel continues to just blow me away with how beautiful their work is. They not only provide some incredibly nice, super articulated figures, but they also provide so many really cool extras that I think just shows how much love and care Mattel puts into their line and into the Amber Collection line specifically. And I think that this Amber Collection line could become many people's favorite line of the Jurassic World figures, and I'm hoping and praying that they continue to release many figures like this. I would absolutely love to see some larger species as well get the Amber Collection treatment, like, of course, a Carnotaurus. I would love, absolutely love, hint, hint, Mattel, please do that. I would be very thankful. Or even a Ceratosaurus. I would love a Amber Collection Ceratosaurus. Just a few off the top of my head that I personally would be over the moon excited to see, but I am really happy now to have the Dilophosaurus here, because it's about time we got a different species in the Amber Collection line to finally get a release. As previously, again, we've only had Velociraptors. We've had the original Jurassic Park style raptor, we had Blue, and then we had Charlie. There's also Delta, who I also just recently got a hold of, so that review will be up very soon. And now we finally have the Dilophosaurus. So super, super awesome now to have a new species included. And I think as far as the Dilophosaurus goes, a Jurassic Park style one, this is easily the most beautiful Dilophosaurus Mattel has created so far, and definitely one of, if not the best Dilophosaurus as far as Jurassic Park figures go out there. And the sculpt on this is beautiful. I think they have picture perfectly captured the overall appearance to a Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. The paint as well is really quite nicely done, and pretty much what you expect from the Amber Collection line. You get a much better paint job than you get on the normal Jurassic World figures, and they've done an excellent job in creating this and making it look, again, just like the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus did. The Dennis Nedry figure as well is beautifully done, really nicely represents Dennis Nedry from the film, and really does a great job as far as accuracy goes, of course, his outfit and all that fun stuff. But I love even including little things like the mud on his pants and his shoes, and that really awesome name tag that he has up there on his shirt. Just everything on this is just so high quality, and just really, again, shows you how much love Mattel puts into this line. I love that they've included the East Dock sign here to perfectly create every area of this scene that you could possibly want to create. They've really given you everything you would need. You also, again, have the additions of like the alternate head, the Barbasol can, the alternate hands, as well as changing out the frill and the venom, and including bases as well. So this is the complete total package in every possible way, and 2 of the single best releases as far as Mattel goes, in my opinion, that we've seen so far. So if you would like to pick these up, I will do my best to include a link in the description. I don't know for sure if it's still available on Entertainment Earth. I do believe Amazon sold out and are now selling it at a little bit higher price, probably through third-party sellers, but I will include links to both Amazon and Entertainment Earth where you can try to pick it up from either one of those two websites. I highly recommend anybody interested in just going ahead and purchasing both because, again, both are awesome. So make sure you do that, and make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.